So I'm going to show you how I wash air filters for dirt bikes. First, you want to wash the air filter in kerosene or mineral spirits. Then you want to wash it with Dawn dishwashing soap. So here I'm taking a air filter and just taking it in kerosene, dipping it in there, and then wringing it out and washing it in the kerosene. What it does is breaks down the oil and it won't harm the glue that holds the air filter together. And wring it out really good. And that's an air filter that's been washed in kerosene. But our next step is going to be to wash it in Dawn dishwashing soap. And we're going to spray it out first with water. That helps to get a little bit of the kerosene out of it. Wring it out. Then we take the Dawn dishwashing soap, spread it over it pretty good, inside and out. Then you want to wring it in there. And what that first application does is it breaks down the oil of the kerosene. So you want to scrub it in there really good. And what I do is I wash mine 3 times. I'll do it the first time just to break down the oil, get it lathered up good here. And then you want to rinse it out. Now sometimes if your air filter is not too dirty and you're cleaning it and you've got good clean kerosene, you can just wash them twice in the Dawn. So it just depends on how they're coming out after you put the Dawn on them. If they lather up real good and white and they don't have a lot of dirt in the soap when you lather it up, then you can just wash them twice. But I normally like to do it 3 times just to make sure I get all the dirt out of my air filters. And I scrub it in real good. And I do this inside and out. You can see how thick the soap is there, and it's fairly clean. It's not got any real dirt in it. So, like I say, I always look at the lather, the suds, and make sure there's not any dirt or anything in it. I do it at least 2 times. Sometimes I'll do it 3. This one right here, I'm gonna get away with 2. And then what you want to do is after you do all this, you want to rinse it out again. Rinse it out really good. I always rinse mine until the suds are gone, and I turn it inside and I turn it out just to make sure I get all the trash off the air filter. And I strip from the inside usually out just to make sure that I'm pushing the dirt the other direction. the other side one more time. And then I'll wring it out good. And then after you wring it out, what I do is I put them up on a hanger in my garage and I let them dry. And once they're dry, they're ready to go again. So now you also want to wash out your filter cage. I spray it off. I also wash it in kerosene first, but I spray it off and then I'll put Dawn on it. And I'll take a little scrub brush and I'll just make sure I get in all the crannies, nooks, and things. Now this is from my 4-stroke. I've got a 350 2012 XCFW, and I really believe the reason why I'm getting so much time out of my bike is because I do real good maintenance on my air filters and oil changes. I use a good quality oil. I change the oil and oil filter every 10 to 15 hours, depending on how I'm riding. If it's racing, I change it every 10 hours. If it's just trail riding, I'll change it about every 15. And then the air filter, as soon as it gets a little bit dirty looking, just a little, I go ahead and pull it out. I'll oil me up a new one and I put it in. And so I think that's the life of our engines, is air filters and oil. So keep them changed regularly, and you ought to have good service out of your engine. So now I'm going to show you how I oil an air filter. This is what I use. It is Maxima FFT foam filter oil. What I do is I went to Walmart and I bought a jug that collapses over. It's got a seal on it, and I pour an entire bottle of this inside there. And so what I do is I take my air filter, I take it down inside there, and I just saturate this air filter. Now, you want to make sure that when you do this, what I do is I saturate it and I wring it out. I wring it back into the bucket, and it's messy, but if you wring it back in, you save a little oil. Plus, as long as you get it saturated, it gets into the pores of the foam, and then when you wring it out, it's still, the residue or the foam filter oil sticks to the pores, and when it thickens, that's what creates your seal. Plus it gets all the way through your air filter. But so what I do is, after I do my first ring, I turn it this way and I roll it up. So I get it all rolled up, and then I'll wring it from the center out. And just wring it really tight. And then I do it from the other way out to the end. When I get it all the way to the end, then I do it the other direction. Roll it up again, but doing it the other direction. Squeeze out most of your air filter foam. And there we go. So, and then what's ever left on my hands, I wipe back onto the air filter, and then I'll just work it in really good, back and forth, and then I'll set it up on my bench or somewhere, and I'll let it sit there, because and you want to make sure you keep this closed, because air takes away the thinning agent that they put in this oil. So when it reaches oxygen, it carries that thinning agent away, and then it leaves you with I don't know whether you can see it or not, but it leaves you with that sticky oil that collapses on itself. Anyways, so there you can see it. You can see a little strings. I don't know if you guys can, but so just leave it setting up, and then when it gets a little cured, maybe 2 or 3 hours, whatever. Put your little rubber piece back in it, put it in your cage, put it in your bike, and you're ready to go. Now, something else is a little tip that I do. I use filter skins over the top of my filters. It allows me to, two things, it doesn't allow stuff to enter in as easy, and I can change that filter skin and I've still got a good filter behind it. And a lot of times I don't have to wash these nearly as often. So just a tip, how I do it, doesn't mean it's the right way, but with I think I've got 971 hours on my bike. It's a KTM 350 XCFW, and that's a testament to how you wash your air filters and keep them clean, and oil changes. So there you go. Thanks a lot for watching. Have a good day. There's a 2012 KTM 350. You notice I've got a chainsaw mount on there because I do a lot of trail work when I'm not racing.